off, we see that Charles and Lucille are continuing to go through some problems that we started off with in season one. So I want to ask you both from your perspective, well, your characters' perspectives going into season two, do you think that it's just the money that is coming in between their relationship? And I'll start with you, Mecole.
I do really. I think that struggling on that level can bring up a lot of different things where it makes it hard to really focus on the love. It's just, it's taking up so much energy just to keep our heads above water that we're just missing each other and not able to support in the same way. And a lot of things get missed because of the financial burden.
My uncle used to say money ain't everything, but it beats whatever's second. And, and I think that, yeah, I mean, the love has been there. The love is there. You know what I mean? The support has been there. So it's like, again, as Mecole stated, when the money is lacking, it brings about a lot of problems, it just, and I think that that's what was plaguing a lot of the families of that time. There's just not enough to go around. You need more. And again, when the money's, you're too busy agonizing over the money, that there is no time for tenderness. There is no time and no energy for intimacy. There is no time to just take a breath and look at somebody and say, how you doing, baby? You okay? You need anything? Can I help you? No, what I need is some motherfucking money to pay these bills. What I need is to build, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, don't come up, you know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden, you're not attractive anymore. All of a sudden, you ain't funny no more. All of a sudden, you can't sing. Why? Because we ain't got no money.
Facts. So, Russell, for Charles, he has two sons that he's battling with, not battling, that's probably a bad choice of words, but coming to terms with their growth as men and both the choices that are making. So with Terry, they're starting off on a new business enterprise. And with Meech, we've seen their problems that began in season one continue to spill over in this season. Do you think that he will, or does he respect them both as men and the choices that they're making?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't respect them at all. He loves them, but he doesn't respect them. First of all, they're still boys. And secondly, in his mind, they're not going about it the right way. You're supposed to go get a job. I mean, it's just, in his mind, in his eyes, it's really that simple. You go to work for a living. That's what you do. Drug dealers, hustlers, pimps, that's, the life of visiting houses of ill repute, all that doesn't jive. And that's not how they were raised. So no, there is no respect. There is love that probably is fleeting, but there is no respect.
So Mecole, for Lucille, as a mother, obviously mothers are taught to nurture, and the situation that the family is currently in seems to be weighing on her in a very different way, so to speak, than Charles and the others. So how do you think she resolves her conflict of needing certain things just to survive, not excessive things, but also that it is wrong in her beliefs, in her religious beliefs, her beliefs as a woman? How do you feel that she's resolving that this season?
I don't know if she's resolving that necessarily at all. I mean, I think she's struggling with that because she's working so hard to make ends meet, and she's working at Wendy's and busting her butt all the time, and they're still losing. And, and I think deep down, it's like you want the support because it would make life so much easier to just, you want to keep a roof over everybody's head. But I don't know if there is any resolve. I think she's, just doing her best to show up every day and sort it out, but, and being missed in the process because she's working so hard and he's she thinks maybe he's hardly working and following his dreams in a different way and not really seeing her. And there's just all of these layers that, she's trying to sort throughout the season.
Do you think that as a couple, they walk through what they might have been able to do different, even though they presented a united family front and were working hard and there was a lot of circumstances? Do you think that they feel like there is anything that they could have done differently to shape the choices that Meech and Terry are now making?
No, I do not. You asked me, do they walk through it? Do they talk about, you know what I mean? Like,
do they feel, is it just something that you think that in their characters comes up as they see the choices that they're making, as they see them kind of getting away from them, but the reasons why they're doing it? Do they look at themselves ever feel like maybe we could have made a different choice and they would have made a different choice in anything?
I mean, I think for my character personally, I think he feels that he's done the right thing. You know what I mean? I think that, again, it all goes back to money. Do you know what I mean? I mean, the only thing you could say, was, why did the GM, if the GM plant didn't close down, I'd still have a job. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's pretty much what it is. And so, but they were there. He wasn't absent. He was home. They went to church. They ate Sunday dinner, So I think from Charles's standpoint, I don't think he feels that way. That was not from an extenuating outside force or circumstance, not of his doing.
Got it.
And I think for Mecole as the actor observing, I think that they did the best that they could. I think that Lucille, in her shoes at this time, there are moments when she questions, what else could I have done? And I think there's a level of respect that she has, that they want to take care of their family, and that they're trying to find a way to support them in the best way that they can, with the limited opportunities that are outside the home that they created for them. But I think there is question. Like, I was even watching on the documentary, The Real Miss Lucille, and how she was talking about Meech and how he wanted to take care of her and take care of them, and it kind of brought tears to her eyes, and it felt like it brought tears to her eyes, because it's like, what part did I have in this? But really, I think the truth is, this is again Mecole, they did the best that they could. I mean, they gave them a strong foundation. They loved each other as parents. They came together to make decisions together earlier on, and all of these things, and they gave them this beautiful spiritual background. They gave them everything that they could, but outside those doors were things that were beyond their control. And so yeah, but I think, I'm not a parent myself, but I have nieces and nephews, but I think you always kind of question, because someone said in an interview earlier, do you guys think that the way they are is a reflection of you? And on some level, I think that has to be true, somewhere, somehow. And they could have used these tools that they were given possibly in a better way, but nonetheless, they still used their tools to create a family and take care of others in the best way that they knew how, with what was kind of given to them, the opportunities that were available to them at that time.
So we also know that the couple has a younger daughter, Nicole, who kind of gets swallowed up both in season 1 and in some things in season 2. So what do you think their thought process is this season, going in for Nicole's welfare and sort of helping to make sure that she doesn't get too much more caught up in what's going on over here?
I mean, I think they definitely want to keep her safe and, you know, and all of that. But also, I think she just gets missed sometimes because there's so much going on with Meech and Terry that they might take up all the air in the room kind of thing. And sometimes she might feel invisible a little bit, I think. And sometimes I think that Lucille is a little hard on her, and maybe too hard on her sometimes. But at the same time, I think Mecole can be a little sassy, and you know, and have a little smart mouth sometimes. And I'm just trying to keep her in check. And also, I think during that period that a woman's place is like a certain thing. So women at that time were slightly more submissive, and, you know, and it's like the man is supposed to be the provider and step out front. So it's like, you know, you keep your place, don't, you know, have a smart mouth, and hey, and don't get caught up in this thing. You stay kind of right here without even being aware of what you're putting out there sometimes, you know?